I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not gonna act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared.
Big black guy chose small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
I just want to know, why is there so much race play going on? Why is this lady, her name is Gabriella, talking about, yeah, I want you to put a big black baby in me? Is that what people that date outside their race do? Is that what y'all do?
Men like Shannon Sharpe go after women whose frontal lobe have yet to develop, and then when they prove to you that they are still children, it's, how dare she try to manipulate me? How dare she try to get money from me? Why do you think she was your old ass?
So remember when Katt Williams went on Club Shay and told Shannon Sharpe straight up that messing with white women could get him caught up? Yeah, well, he wasn't joking, he was warning him. And now that clip is going viral again because people are realizing Katt was right, and Shannon was already in the middle of that exact situation. In case you missed it, Shannon is now being sued by a white OnlyFans model who's way younger than he is. And I'm talking about a woman who was a literal teenager when Shannon started messing with her young, enough to be his granddaughter. So this woman is now accusing Shannon of rape and is asking for $50 million and a trial by jury. But here's another crazy part. It now turns out that that Club Shay interview with Katt was recorded while Shannon was already involved with this same woman. And now folks are going back to those clips from the interview and pointing out how nervous Shannon looked when Katt started talking about how white women can take you down in 2 weekends. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit down in 2 weekends. But y'all, it gets even messier. It's not just the fact that this woman was barely out of high school and white. It's the fact that the lawsuit says Shannon was into some wild stuff in the bedroom, including race play. And if you don't know what race play is, well, look it up, because YouTube will not let me get into those specifics here. But let's just say people online have zero sympathy for Shannon after hearing what he's into. I mean, messing with a teenager at his age was bad enough, but engaging in race play with her just took it to another level of depravity. And mind you, the whole race play thing was most definitely what Shannon requested from this girl. She was basically a paid worker. He asked her to do some sick racial stuff. She agreed to role play, but then stopped playing her role long enough to make it seem like his actions were not consensual. And just like that, everything Shannon has worked for all these years goes down the drain. But fans are not feeling bad for Shannon at all. And they're saying he got exactly what he was warned about. The lack of discipline and discernment at his big age is just baffling. But hey, that's what you get being almost 60 and still trying to be in these streets. Katt Williams literally tried to tell him, and now it's blowing up in his face. But there's a lot more to unpack here. So let's get into the full story. You having an unnatural allegiance to losers does not like you. Okay, y'all, in case you're out of the loop, Shannon Sharpe is facing a $50 million civil lawsuit filed in Clark County, Nevada, by a woman identified as OnlyFans model Gabriella Zuniga. The lawsuit alleges that Shannon raped Gabriella at least twice during their brief relationship, emotionally and verbally mistreated her, recorded and shared their intimate encounters without consent, and even made threats on her life. According to the lawsuit, Shannon met Gabriella at a Los Angeles gym in 2023 when he was 54 and she was just 19. Now, the age gap alone is already crazy enough, because even if everything is consensual, this is straight up predatory behavior. This girl was 16 during let that sink in, y'all. She's younger than Shannon Sharpe's youngest child. She could literally be his granddaughter. I mean, that alone is already disgusting. But it gets even weirder when you hear what type of stuff Shannon was into. So it seems that this girl was essentially a paid ex-worker, because in one of the text messages Shannon released trying to prove his relationship was consensual, Gabriella mentioned asking for $25,000 for each cheek. But that's not all. Other weird things Gabriella texted Shannon were asking him to put a big black baby in her, and even saying she wants to put her tongue in his brown balloon. Not if you know what I mean now. I think we can all assume this 19-year-old girl wasn't into Shannon like that. And she most likely said these things because Shannon specifically requested some type of.
It's becoming more and more clear to me, in my opinion, that he has a race fetish. He has a fetish for that type of dynamic. Think about it. This was a 19-year-old white woman when he met her. I don't know any 19-year-old white woman that's running around hollering about a big black baby and baby gravy. Shannon was a 54-year-old big black grown-ass man from the backwoods of Georgia. Gravy sound like some shit he's familiar with. Big black babies, he probably seen a few in his day. Born in the backwoods of Georgia where he grew up with his grandma and all the other folks. But I just don't think that came from her. Now, is she repeating it back in those text messages? Yes. That's why he released her messages, not his. Peep that. Okay? We haven't seen what his responses was. And I guarantee you, when they post those messages, y'all gonna see. All of that race started with him. It's a fetish. And he could only play that kind of stuff out with a young girl. He couldn't, like Monique was trying to tell him, get an older gal. Older gal ain't going for that. They was going to immediately know he was a freak and a weirdo. A 19-year-old don't know no better. That's why she repeating it back to him, because he said it to her first. Older men, that's why they tend to want to be with younger women. They're more impressionable. They can mold them. They can shape them to be what they want them to be. Do what they want them to do. You let him come to a 40 or 50-year-old woman talking about put a big black baby and baby gravy. We gonna be looking like, what's wrong with you? Yeah, that started with him. Mark my words. It's gonna come out. But that race stuff started with him.
Now, whether this arrangement Shannon had with this girl was consensual from start to finish, or it got out of control at some point, that's going to be up to the courts to decide. But Shannon is not looking good in this mess at all, especially after Gabriella's lawyer, Tony. Busby leaked an audio where Shannon is threatening to choke Gabriella. Now, this whole conversation is weird from both sides, and it sounds like she's baiting him to say some messed up stuff about a big black man choking a small white woman. But the fact that Shannon actually sounds like he gets off on that type of stuff makes him look like a whole creep.
What, Gabby?
Well, you're coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Gabby.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah. I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
Not a good look that you do what you did to me.
Okay, well...
Well, what?
I told you all this conversation is weird from start.
Well, what I told you, all this conversation is weird from start to finish. And to me, they both talk like this is some sort of role play. But this girl may have baited him with the talk. They always did recorded it. And now she can say it was a consensual. But again, Shannon has got no one but himself to blame. Because imagine being an almost 60-year-old man and still not being able to control your urges, messing with a 19-year-old and thinking she won't play you. The lack of self-awareness is just mind-boggling. And get this, Shannon is now trying to use the black man angle, claiming that Tony Busby only goes after successful black men. To my family,
friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine.
Now, even if Shannon is right about Busby, how are you going to use the black man card when you literally engaged in race play? And notice how Shannon tried to get ahead of the narrative, saying that Busby plans to release part of the private tape that plays into every stereotype. So in other words, Shannon paid a white woman to degrade him as part of some sick racial role play. But now we're supposed to feel sorry for him because he's a black man? Why
is this lady, her name is Gabriella, talking about, yeah, I want you to put a big black baby in me? Is that what people that date outside their race do? Is that what y'all do? Are y'all into race play? Like, I feel like there's probably in the bedroom doing like slave shit. I mean, I don't feel like that's too far-fetched. She talking about put a big black baby in me. Like what I don't get it. What is going on? He needs to address that. The lawsuit. Address why the hell she was saying that and why you were allowing that. Because after she said that, you should cuss her the out. What is going on, Shannon?
Now, even if Shannon is right about Busby, how are you going to use the black man card when you literally engaged in race play? And notice how Shannon tried to get ahead of the narrative, saying that Busby plans to release part of the private tape that plays into every stereotype. So in other words, Shannon paid a white woman to degrade him as part of some sick racial role play. But now we're supposed to feel sorry for him because he's a black man.
Listen, the way Shannon Sharpe is moving, right? Granted, he's rich, famous, cool, he's successful in that aspect, but bro, when it comes to a love life, that is not the life I want to live. I do not want to be 54, 40 plus years old, or 54 years old, sleeping with 19-year-old women. Sleeping with women that only want to use me for what I can provide. Dealing with women that could potentially mess up my career, my future, or cause me so much stress. When it comes to dealing with multiple women, there's always problems. It's messy. I want to be as drama-free as possible for as long as possible. Like I said, there's always going to be problems. They can start a rumor about you, and it can mess your image up, it can mess your face card up, or you can even end up getting one of them pregnant. You could be on child support for 18 plus years. I said the same thing about Future a few months ago, and y'all was like, nah, bro, Future can never be lame. He's not lame for doing this. Future is lame for doing the same thing Shannon Sharpe is doing, and a bunch of men are doing, period, in general. We make sleeping around as men cool. Like, just being super reckless cool as men, and it's not cool.
Going on Shannon, and mind you, Shannon used his platform for years to clown black women, but now is asking for sympathy. Yeah. Let's just say the only people who are defending Shannon right now are delusional old men like him who think a young girl actually wants them. For them, everyone else is calling it like it is and clowning Shannon for acting.
My only goal, I didn't want to get with a white woman because I was scared she might have me running down the street like Jonathan Majors.
There you go, come on, Katt.
Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not gonna act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends. And that's the truth of the matter. So I stayed away from that. And remember, I told you the story from when I'm in the park.
Yeah.
So these are just the things. I had all of those when I came in. I already was ready for that.
But fans online are not the only ones clowning Shannon for being a weirdo. There's also Katt Williams, who literally tried to warn Shannon last year. When he appeared on Club, Katt talked about being scared of white women. And if you pay attention to Shannon's body language when Katt said that it's clear Shannon knew Katt was addressing.
You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl.
I know.
This is your auntie talking to you. Take your get you an old out there that can love you old. You trying to hang out with these young and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it.
Told you. I told you. I told you.
You ain't tell me.
And it wasn't just Katt. Monique appeared on Club Shay shortly after Katt's interview went viral, and she also warned Shannon about messing with much younger. Timeline from this lawsuit. It's clear Shannon was already involved with this OnlyFans model when Katt and Monique appeared on Club Shay Shay, and the way Shannon was just sitting there giggling while Monique tried to drop some real knowledge. That's your first red flag. There he wasn't trying. To hear it now, here we are. and it's all catching up to him. And whether or not the allegations from the lawsuit are true, Shannon's reputation is done. He's out here exposed for being into race play and messing with women younger than his own kids. So the next time Shannon wants to get on a platform and dish out advice, just know he's been permanently discredited. And like I said, you won't find too many people feeling sorry for him. The whole interwebs are clowning him, and everyone is saying he should have listened to Katt while he had the chance. But he's made his bed now, and now he has to lie in it, one fan said. When Katt Williams told Shannon Sharpe, "You have an unnatural allegiance to losers," little did he know that Shannon is in fact the shepherd of losers. What a coon. And someone else wrote, "Not feeling sorry for Shannon Sharpe. This isn't some grand conspiracy to take down a successful black man. It's just what happens when a 50-some-year-old can't stop making reckless decisions. Even if he's innocent, what's a grown man doing chasing barely legal girls and OnlyFans models? That's not oppression by the man. That's top-shelf arrogance." But let me know how you feel about all this mess with Shannon. Is this all on him? And what about the race play situation? How does that sit with you? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't miss out on this next video.